Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers, and this week, as you will see if you're watching, I have the equipment. I have multiple people here that I get to interview today, and I say interview, but it's going to be more of a conversation today. I have our comfort advisors here to talk to them all things comfort advising, sales. I don't like the word sales. So we're going to get to know them better. We have Justin Lloyd and Geronte Walton here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here today. I'm so excited to have a conversation with you all on what you do here, what it's like to work here, and what people can expect when you come to their homes. Are you excited?
Absolutely.
I know Justin has been on the podcast a couple times. This is Geronte's first time on the podcast.
I'm not nervous.
How are you feeling? First time on the Rogers Radio Podcast.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm much of a face-to-face person,
Yeah?
but I think the microphone is kind of intimidating me a little bit. But, we're going to get through this. You're
going to be great. You're going to be great. And, you know, the two of you go into homes every single day and help people make their homes more comfortable. And that is not an easy thing. It sounds easy when I say it, but it's really not a simple process. There is a large process, a long process that goes into that. And so I want to dive into that a little more. Your titles are when people are getting scheduled for you to come out to their home, they say our comfort advisor is going to come out and provide a free estimate for you. Mm-hmm. So I want you to take us through what that means. What does it mean when you are scheduled to come out to a person's home?
I think a lot of people think that it just means we're going to come out and give you an estimate. And that's the gist of what we're doing. We're going to come look at a sticker and say, here's what we can do. And it's not. I mean, the whole point of a comfort advisor coming out versus, say, like a service tech or someone else is the fact that what our specialty is system replacement, because it's very important when you size a unit for a home. It cannot be oversized. That can cause just irreparable damage to the home. But obviously, if it's undersized, it's not going to perform, and they're going to feel very cheated because you pay that money for something, and now you're still sweating in the summer. And that's kind of where we step in our specialty, because if you have us into your home, one thing you can expect is it's going to be kind of like an interview. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions. But that's so that Geronte or myself are able to look at the system you have, find its shortcomings, things that it could have done better, because we certainly don't want you to spend money on something that's going to do a bad job again.
Right.
We want to take it to the next level for you and your family and make sure this new experience is going to, blow all the other ones out the water. So, I would say, wouldn't you probably the most important thing with us is getting the correct options to the customer.
Absolutely, and it catches a lot of customers off guard when you come into their home. They're thinking it's going to be, a 15 or 20 minute experience. But when you get to the front door and you say, hey, how you doing? After a general chat, I want to sit at your kitchen table with you, and I want to go through a whole conversation. We're going to spend 30, maybe even 45 minutes having a conversation like this just to figure out what's most important to you and your family in your home. And I think that catches a lot of people off guard.
You see a lot of customers that, like, you get there, they'll meet you at the truck and try to walk you around straight back to where the unit is. And sometimes you have to pivot because, of course, we have a process in the way we do it. We want to arrive, we want to introduce ourselves, we want to see if we can sit down just like we're doing now with the customer and have a conversation. And sometimes you have to pivot because they meet you and they're like, all right, come on, unit's back here. You have to kind of, and follow them and reroute your process. But, that's what I think a lot of people are used to is, hey, a guy's coming out to give me an estimate. All right, cool. This should be, like he said, 10, 15 minutes. Go look at the sticker and go, all right, it's a 3-ton. Here's what we can do. And then move along. But, that's just not accurate.
Right.
And we actually, in 2019, there was a study done in North Carolina. It was by the EPA. But they did a census where they went to people's homes and did load calculations and measurements and found that, and I might be a little off on the number here, but something like 89% or 80% of units were improperly sized.
Wow.
Because the time wasn't taken. Somebody just rolled up, looked at the sticker and said, here's what we can do. And didn't take the time to measure anything, to ask questions, to look at the insulation value. I mean, there's a lot to doing it correctly.
And what does it mean when the unit is not sized correctly?
Oh, it can be. So and I'll let you take the undersizing.
You got it,
Oversizing, if you oversize a unit, that can lead to a host of problems. Because if a unit's oversized, what's going to happen is it's going to run, and because it's so much more power than your home needs, it's going to satisfy that thermostat really quick, which sounds like a good thing, but it's not, because the whole what's the word I'm looking for? The whole, essence of that outdoor unit is to pull humidity out the house and make it comfortable. Not just pumping in cold air, we're also pulling out stagnant air. And when that unit doesn't run very long, it doesn't get much of a chance to pull out stagnant air. That's why sometimes you may notice moisture building up on walls. Number one sign that a unit's oversized.
Really?
And that can lead to things like mold, bacterial growth, and just cause a whole host of problems. And that's what we don't want to happen.
Huh. Okay. All right.
And if your unit's undersized, you can run into a lot of the same issues. Of course, you're not going to be comfortable in your home. Right. It's going to be hot or it's going to be cold, and you're just not going to feel well. But if your unit's undersized, again, you're not going to pull enough humidity out of the home. It's very muggy in your house when it's really warm outside, as well as you're hot again, and just things like that. Anytime you're uncomfortable in your home, obviously there's something wrong. Either unit's oversized, it's undersized, you're not pulling enough pollutants and things out of the air. There's a lot of things that can go on, and that's where we kick into play. We have a checklist that we go through inside of our heads when we're in your home. And we notice things that maybe you didn't notice or you didn't even feel, were wrong in your home until we get there and we point it out to you. But, that's our job. That's what we're trained for,
Yeah. That's really amazing. And, you talk about when you get to the home and you want to have those conversations with people and you want to build that relationship, because building relationships is very important to us here at Rogers. We build the relationships with our team and we build the relationships with our customers, and we want to do that for the long run and to continue that relationship even after a new unit is installed or a service call or whatever that may be. So take us through what people can expect when you get there. I know you pull up and you have some customers that, want to take you right to the unit, but what can they expect and how long does that initial conversation take? How long is it?
I can't speak for Durante, but I'm a showman, so I'm going to backflip from my truck all the way to your door. No, I can't even do a backflip.
Okay, so you want someone to do a backflip
no,
when they
I'm
get
too
to your
old
home.
for backflips, but no, we're gonna show up. We're gonna introduce ourselves. It's little details too. Like, is my truck okay where it is? Because I don't want to block anybody in, or if you're expecting company. And then we're gonna go in, introduce ourselves, and of course we're gonna ask, do you mind if we sit down? I just want to go through a few questions with you. I just want to make sure I get the gist of how your current system is performed, because I want to make sure what we put in here after we take it out is going to be the best option for you and your family, because there's a wide world of heat pumps and furnaces. There's a bajillion brands with a bajillion different functionalities, and what may work for you may not work for him. And we don't know those things if we don't take the time to get to know you and know what it is your expectations are out of the system.
Okay. What is the experience like for you?
So very much of the same. Of course, after the truck parked in the great spot. Sure. General conversation. How you doing? It's nice out here. How long have you been here? But then we sit down and we have the initial conversation like we do here. And then from there, it really goes into more of a technical aspect. It's, okay, where's your unit? You'll see us on our phones a lot when we're at your home. I promise we're not texting. We're taking notes. We take a lot of notes. We have to tell customers that all the time.
Yeah. I promise I'm not texting. This is where my notes go. We used to have pen and pad. Now it's all on the phone.
Yeah, we're taking pictures. Because, of course, when the installers come back, or even just when you're a customer of Rogers, we want to make sure that we document everything that we can, so that if you call in and you say, hey, I don't know, my line set, it doesn't look the way I feel that it should look. Hey, Durante was out there 2 days ago. Let me pull up the pictures and see what that line set looks like. Hey, we already have a picture of it. We've already been there. We've already done that. As well as we'll go into if you have an air handler in your attic, we're going into your attic. We're walking around your home. We're looking to see if you have moisture issues around your home. If we're in your crawl space, of course, we're looking for water down there, whether it be plumbing or just groundwater. We're looking at the roof of your house to see what kind of roof you have, what color that roof is, which way the sun comes up, which way the sun sets. We're looking at windows. There's a lot of information that we're taking in, as well as we're having a conversation with the customer, as we're walking through the house. So you have to be very focused when you get there.
Yes.
You can't have anything else going on in your brain. sometimes you pull in that driveway and you have to sit in the truck for a second. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
erase everything else I
Yeah.
thought on the way here. Erase that favorite song I just listened to. It's time to engage, and it's time to, to go in and do my job and get this customer the ultimate comfort. So, yeah.
So what do you do with customers? Because 10 years ago, I would have been one of these customers that has no idea anything about HVAC. I knew there was a thermostat on the wall and that I could do the number up and down and it would do what I wanted. But literally, if it was hot in my home, I would just do the thermostat down like 10 degrees, like get, cooler in my house. So how do you handle situations where people just have no idea about HVAC?
Yeah.
Education. We're big on educating customers. I've actually had several customers tell me the reason why they chose Rogers was because that they appreciate taking the time. And that's not just us. Service techs do it. Installers do it. I mean, we want to educate you. I mean, if you're about to put this investment into your home and you're going to trust us to be the company that you're going to put that investment into, I certainly want you to know what you're going to get, like variable speed for someone who's maybe very, very into, they want the unit to be quiet as quiet as it can be, and they want their electric bill to be cut in half. That's great, but that's going to be more of a higher priced variable speed option. So I'm certainly going to educate you in the benefits of variable speed before I just go, here's this, and then you go, I was not expecting it to be at that price. I want at least for you to understand why this is what we're recommending, because it's all about what you've expressed to me that you want out of your system.
Let's talk about that, because we provide options.
Definitely.
And, we can do all kinds of different things to make sure that we fit in the budget that someone's expecting. So take us through what that's like. What options do you provide, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so that really goes back to that initial conversation that we have. As you're talking and as I'm asking you questions in your home, I'm building those estimates in my head. If you're very price conscious, I know where I'm going with that. I know where I need to be. If you say you want the biggest and the baddest system that we have, I know where we need to be. If you're saying you have, humidity issues in the home, I'm building those in my head. We have single stage systems. We have two stage systems. We have variable speed. We have furnaces. We have air handlers. There's a lot, again, that goes on over here. And we usually try to provide at least 3 estimates, when we're out, because we want you to feel that we didn't just come out and this is what you need. This is the only option you can go with.
Right.
No, we want to provide a couple different options for you, where you can get this feature, or you can get this feature, or you can be in this price point, or your monthly payment can look like this, or we can remove this much humidity from your home, or we can keep your home cool for this long, or you want mini splits. There's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, that's my spill on it, Justin. What do you think?
Well, you just want the customer to understand they have choices.
Right.
You have choices. That's probably one of my biggest faults when I started it, because, and with a little bit of a broadcasting background, I'm used to interviewing people. And so, joining Rogers, and then part of my job being to sit with someone and obtain information and, calculate a solution. It's like I'm almost like that kid that goes into Walmart and knows exactly what toy they want.
Yeah.
My biggest problem was I was like, all right, they need this. Boom, that's going to make you the happiest. And it was like, we need to give them options so that they understand that you do have options. This one is probably going to most satisfy all of the things you're looking for. If not, this one, we usually do a good, better, best. We keep it simple in that regard. This one's going to be the best for your expectations. This one's going to be better, and this one's going to be good. It may not, you wanted something that was a little bit quieter. Well, for that price, we just, for that aspect, we might not be able to meet that price. But this one might be a little bit louder, but it's also more in your budget. Because, you just want customers to see that there's a choice. I feel like, too, when you just give them, like, one thing, you're like, this is it, then it's like, you're just trying to throw something at them.
Exactly.
You want them to know you have the choice, to pick your own destiny.
Exactly. And, people have this perception of sales. That's why at the beginning of this episode, I said, I don't like that word, because it seems like we're just trying to push things, but we're not. And so explain what sales means to you.
Number one, it does not mean sleazy.
Yeah.
I swear people get sales and sleazy mixed up. Sales are sales are important to the entire economy. You go to Walmart and you go to the cashier and you ring up some dish detergent. That cashier just sold you something.
Right.
If all of sales stopped for one day, the economy would literally crash. That's what drives it forward. But just because, of course, I want to sell to you, I want you to become a Rogers customer. I want to earn your business. But sales doesn't mean sleazy. It doesn't mean I'm coming out there and I'm like, haha, I'm going to sell this.
Right.
This is my goal for this. It's like, no, I want to come out and I want to earn your business, but I want to make sure that I earn it by doing you right. And people do. So I'm sure you've noticed sometimes people are very guarded and it's like, oh, here comes the salesman.
Exactly.
Actually, we're comfort advisors and I'm here to do way more than to sell you something. I'm here to make sure that we sell you. And I think I think that says a lot about, our company is, easily you could just send anybody out there to be like, all right, here's options.
Exactly.
Buy one. I'm going to talk smooth and get you to go with one. But like, we're saying, hey, before we move into that, let's get someone to go out and make sure that we are selling them the correct thing. The last thing we want is callbacks or incorrect sizing or, unsatisfied customers. So, for me, it does not mean sleazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when people hear sales, they think about the dad from Matilda. It's like, I just want to sell you something. I don't care how we do it or what it takes. I want to sell you something. And that's not it. Obviously, we're in your home because you had a problem. Yeah. Something went wrong somewhere or you didn't feel the right way at some aspect of your home. And that's what we're here to solve. And we want to make sure we solve it the correct way the first time, We're not in your home 6 or 7 times. No, we came out one time. We did it right. Even when technicians, are like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. And they turn on what we call a TGL, which is, of course, when Justin and myself come out. And there's a problem there. Obviously, the technician saw something or the technician felt something that they weren't exactly sure about themselves. So that's where we come into play. And we're just there to provide a solution, Yeah. And a lot of time we'll provide, like we said, 3 different estimates, 3 different options you can choose from. And that's what the sales that we do. We're not just trying to get $1 out of you.
And I see that from both of you because we have customers that we go out to their home and we quote them options and then they get a second opinion and they have questions on that second opinion or maybe they have questions about the other quote they received from someone else. And I hear you all just talking through it with them and saying, okay, this is why ours is different and this is why it may be a little different, but there's never judging. It's always, how can we help you? And we're here to serve you no matter what.
Oh, I've told customers plenty of times, like, if you're not going to go with us, that's fine, but I would not recommend this because of this issue. If you go with someone else, that's fine, no hard feelings, but don't do this to yourself. Make sure you're making sure they're doing this and that and this and that because you don't. I think people think you'd have a great pleasure if they called you back like in a year and were like, they totally messed it up. Can you come? No, I don't. That sucks for you. I hate that. So we've met you. We've got to be friends with you. We've been in your home, which is a very intimate thing. You're going into somebody's personal home, sitting down with them at the table and conversating. So we've got to where we want what's best for you. And, we want you to shop. Come with us. But if not, we still want what's best.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna ask this question. Why Rogers?
Well, if you want to, I've got mine, but I feel like I've ran my mouth a lot.
Why Rogers? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a very good answer. Why not Rogers? We're going to come in your home. We're going to find the solution to the problem that you have. We're going to take our time. We're going to do it right the first time, every time. It's the overall experience from when you call in, you get the young ladies up front to the time that one of our technicians comes out, to the time that if Justin or myself have to come out, to the time that one of the installers comes out, to the time that maybe even Joey might have to visit your house, because it's not everything that we know. It's the complete package. We're servicing your unit, we're replacing your unit, we're taking care of everything else in your home. We're doing plumbing, we're doing electrical. It's the complete package. And again, we're not just trying to sell you something, we're offering a solution to you.
Absolutely.
Well, why Rogers too would be, get the experience, because I feel like in the home service industries, and this is across the country, like I'm definitely not saying like here in our area, this is everywhere. It's just kind of the same song and dance. Somebody comes in, they take a look at a few things and they go, all right, it's going to be this much. And it's like, and if that's all you want, then by all means. But and actually, I know you've heard this. We keep our customers super informed to the point that actually we've had customers that were like, I don't want to be as informed as y'all are informing me.
It's so true.
Because if we move an appointment, we want you to know if one of our guys or us is running behind, which we strive not to let that happen, but it does.
Yeah.
You just have those days, but we try to let you know, hey, so-and-so's on their way. They might be a little bit late. Then if we schedule this, we want to send you a text and be like, hey, we schedule. And we've had people be like, stop informing me so much. But I mean, if I would think with an investment, and let's face it, no matter who you're talking about, HVAC equipment right now it's not cheap. I mean, COVID really started this tidal wave of equipment prices and material going up.
So true.
So if you're going to put that level of investment into your home, why not do that with someone who actually cares, number one, about your well-being, but also is going to keep you informed? Because I mean, it for me, it comes down way more than just a dollar value. I mean, it's knowing that, like, okay, if this unit goes in, and maybe it is a lemon, because machines are made by people and people mess up all the time.
Right.
It's nice knowing, like, oh, they've got a total replacement warranty. Like, they answer 24/7. They've got techs on call 24/7. I know if I have any trouble, I will not have, because how many times do we get told horror stories of people chasing down someone who installed a unit improperly, or it's a bad unit, and they're not mad. They're like, hey, can you come fix it? And they won't even answer the phone.
I know.
And you can't not get us.
So sad. Yeah, we are always there. You will always receive an answer when you call us. And that I feel sets us apart from so many people. And then having, the amazing team that we have coming to the homes and serving each customer, it's phenomenal. And it's phenomenal to watch. And I just am so appreciative of everyone, and I say that every episode, but it's so true. I can't stop saying it, everyone that's watching and listening. But you guys do a phenomenal job. Summer is hopefully here. I mean,
Mother Nature doesn't know yet if she wants to get to this.
We're in July, and it's heating up. It's finally heating up.
Oh, yeah.
So, what do we have going on right now at Rogers, and what do people need to think about going into the hotter months of the year?
Well, number one, even before HVAC, check on elderly people, and I say that because elderly people do. This kind of weather, when it gets hot and humid, it can be deadly. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, call and check on people. Like, make sure if you have a grandma or a mom, or go to their house and make sure that they're. And a lot of times it's not. I think sometimes the thought is we're going to come out and all we want you to do is just to get a new unit. It's not. Well, it may be something simple as a capacitor, which is very inexpensive. Before I started here, I called you and said, my unit's blowing just room temperature air. Alyssa on the phone was like, yeah, that's probably a capacitor. Joey will be there in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Come by and fixed it in like 10 minutes, and I wasn't working here, so I'm pretty sure I offered him a beer or something, and he declined. But, it was just that easy. So, if you have someone that's, in that situation, definitely check on people, because hot weather is deadly. I mean, it's
not
deadly.
Always thousands of dollars to repair it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be a couple $100s.
For sure. And I would say a big thing when it comes to summertime or even wintertime is when you start having an issue, act then.
100%.
I think that when something goes out in our home, we think that, okay, let me just push it off as far as I can until it goes out. And I don't want anybody to be in a position of they call us, it turns out that we need a part or even a whole system replacement. And now it's going to be 2 weeks because that part's on back order, or 3 weeks because it's the heat of summer and we're doing 6 installs a day.
Yep.
Go ahead and get it taken care of now. I promise you, you're doing yourself a favor. You're going to save a few dollars, and you won't be uncomfortable in your home when it's 100 degrees outside. So go ahead and act now, and take care of the issue now.
Yeah.
Well, and we're really big on, like, if you don't know what you're talking about, get help. So, even bounce into the service department. If you call the service department over because your unit, like Geronte said, it's been maybe not keeping up, or it's making a weird noise, or just something that's concerning you. What service techs are going to do is they're going to give you options. It goes back to those options. Of course, if your unit is 45 years old and it is like the color of a red barn, they're going to probably say, I'd really recommend replacing this because it's just about to go. But with that said, we're still happy to repair regardless.
Correct.
Whether if you just say flat out, like, I'm just not into that right now, I just want to repair it. We're happy to do that. Like, we are happy to repair, because either way, we don't want you uncomfortable. And if that means a repair versus replacement, by all means, do that.
Yes.
Do that and be comfortable and be safe again, because it's dangerous. Summertime it can be a killer, especially like in the July, August time when it's 100% humidity and 98 degrees outside.
So bad. And it's coming.
Yeah.
So with that, we do have for those of you that are watching and listening, you probably received one of our direct mail pieces in the mail, or you've seen us around, you know who we are, and we have some promotions going on right now.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about those? And then I do know, before we got on, you guys decided that you were going to offer a special promotion for all the listeners of this podcast.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about it.
Don't want to miss that.
So to get into that first, I got to talk a little bit about IAQ, because part of what we're going to do has to do with IAQ.
Talk about it.
And that's an acronym for indoor air quality.
Indoor air quality.
It's incredibly important, and I think that if we're at someone's house, whether it be myself, Durante, or a service technician, and we mention like, hey, I think you could benefit from an iWave or a Remy Halo.
Yes.
I truly think that people just think that's just like a pitiful attempt to be like, hey, buy this. And it's like, if you go online and you look up the importance of indoor air quality, you'll find it's tied to things like respiratory illness, heart disease. It can be tied to mold. I mean, it really is, and that's something I challenge any listener or customer to go online and Google, do I need indoor air quality? And you'll find very non-biased reports written by people that are not in the industry.
Right.
That say, absolutely you do. It destroys dust. Some of them, like the iWave, can actually kill viruses. It's very important, and it's fairly inexpensive, and it's something that is low maintenance. And so the reason I go all the way around about that is because that's going to be part of what we're going to add to that.
I can't wait to hear this.
So we're going to step
What are y'all offering?
Oh, we are ready to get into it.
I don't know what this is. I don't know. So
can we get security to block the door?
And I manage the numbers here at Rogers. So what are y'all doing today?
We'll say, first, can we get security to block the door? I don't want Joey to run in here and drag me out when he hears this.
Okay. What are y'all doing?
We're going to do like a podcast exclusive in the sense of, if you mention, hey, Justin, you were that good-looking fellow on that Rogers podcast, and
please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Don't lie. You shouldn't lie. So take that back. But if you just call in, you can talk to the wonderful girls up front and say like, hey, I heard the podcast with Alyssa and the Comfort Advisors, and I want to get them out here. If you just say that, we're already offering $1,000 off. We're going to kick that up to $1,500 off, and that's only for people that have heard this. So that's not, you have to have heard it. I mean, that's not something people are going to get in mailers. They're not getting emails about it. You will be the only ones that get that. So. And then also,
we will provide you with a complimentary iWave as well. So we're spending 80 to 90% of our time in our homes anyway. We're going to go ahead and step it up and get you some IAQ in your home. So that's $1,500 off plus a complimentary iWave. So
and I can't express what a value that is in the sense of, IAQ is not crazy expensive, but it also isn't cheap. By any means. And we're saying straight up, you call us, get us out there. We'll take $1,500 off of the price of any system we have, and we'll give you free like iWave or Remy Halo. Of course, it goes back to the comfort advising. We'll talk to you first and see whether you benefit more from the iWave or the Remy Halo. But we'll certainly be happy to tie a free a home filtration system to any purchase.
Oh my goodness, that is huge, because we're in July. You don't hear of promotions like this in July in the heat of summer. And, I just want to give props. How quick can we get out to these homes to install these and make these homes comfortable?
Had a guy that bought, he reached out to me with confirmation last night around 6 and said, I want to go forward with that option. And they're at his house right now, halfway through it.
Oh my gosh! So you can be comfortable in your home the next day.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what Bruce is feeding these installers.
Exactly.
But, they are killing it.
Installers are killing the game and making so many homes comfortable. And to be able to provide that service that you go out there and you can replace the system the next day. I'm so proud of that.
Oh, it's a big milestone, and it's like I remember.
It hasn't always been like that.
No, telling people how far out are y'all, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where, it's not always necessarily the very next day, but there have been, how many times have we seen in the last 3 months, where it's been like, what's the soonest you can do it? We call in and we're like, okay, it's Tuesday, we can come out there Thursday.
Yes.
We can come out there Friday. And in the instance, it's not the next day, which I can tell you, Joey is very ramped up on getting it done ASAP. We already got somebody throwing on for tomorrow, next day. So, but even if, say, it is going to be a couple of days and it's super hot, Durante or myself will come out, put cooling units in your house to hold you over. The gist is you will never be uncomfortable the second you say, let's do this. We get you taken care of on the spot.
It's so exciting because that's been 5 years in the making to be able to have this conversation and to be able to talk about being able to get out there as quick as we can, have the two of you be able to get out there as quick as you can. So when you're calling in, we can usually have one of these guys out the same day or at least the next day.
Absolutely.
How great is that? And they're there to answer all of your questions and to make you feel comfortable in your home. And I'm just super proud of this because you both know it has not always been this great, and I just can't wait to continue to see the growth of this department and the growth that you each, strive for every day in achieving your goals here. And I'm just super proud.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're proud to be here. It's a major thing to be sitting in this room having this conversation right now.
And there are just like so many people listening, and if you're on the fence about calling Rogers or you're not sure, we provide free estimates, and there's, like they've talked about, you have options. So if you say no, like I'm just going to hold off on this, that's cool. But these guys are here to educate you and to make you feel comfortable in your home and to show you what all of your options are.
Absolutely, because a lot of people are not aware of. Sir, I actually had a gentleman. I was at his house the other day, and he was talking about what to do with his upstairs. And someone I guess had recommended one thing, and I was like, well, that definitely could work. But you can also do this. I mean, it's a very small space. This, and it's just like I didn't know I had that option. It's like options. You have options.
Yes.
There's not I'm not going to tell you you have to do this.
No.
Here are the things that you could do to solve your problem.
Yes.
For sure.
And I'm going to end this because I have to know. Because Durante talked about, clearing your head before you go in to a customer's home. I have to know, what do y'all do on the way to a customer's home? And what is that song that you listen to or podcast? What is it?
I'm not really on a specific song right now, but if you pulled up beside me at a stoplight, you've heard the music playing in the truck. That's just me hyping myself up. That's all it is, and that's my thing. I turn my music up, I jam out on the way to the call, get my mind right, and I go in there, and that way I can have a great interaction with the customer. But I don't have a specific song right now, Justin. You?
I mean, Durante knows, because Durante rode with me for like 6 months learning how to do this. That's the thing, too. We really try to train people. I mean, Durante was for like 6 or 7 months, just like you're riding with me.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yes.
I think, you can agree that I'm prone to random bouts of singing in a high falsetto. And I mean, you can be honest here. What would you say is the music I probably jam?
Barbie Girl was pretty wild. He did not flip on Barbie Girl. I don't know.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
We've listened to everything
I think I'm more hard rock. Like the music that I ramp up to is probably not what you would expect. You think it'd be something poppy or like, some like old George Michael or something to get you skipping there. But mine's more like hard rock, but I mean, it just clears my mind. And then I get there and I'm definitely like there and happy. But I mean, like Durante said, I think it depends on the day. Sometimes you're in a pop mood, so you're jamming some like 90s pop. The next day it's death metal and you're like scaring people as you're driving by the road.
Justin's favorite genre, country, bluegrass. He loves that.
He's silent over there. So we're going to go with not that. But you do talk about skipping, and you did talk about backflipping or, flipping up to the home and skipping. So I do want to shout something out. Rogers Heating and Cooling is now on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
We're on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And there was just a skipping challenge done in here.
I just watched that.
So be sure to go to our TikTok and view that skipping challenge and all of the things that are going to be posted on there.
I think Durante killed it. Like I watched it. I really think Durante and it was one other. I have to rewatch it, but you were one of the best skips.
Man, it's been years. I had to brush that skip off.
It looked more natural for you. I looked like I was being forced to skip. You just like, it was just a part of your daily routine.
You just go for it, man.
It's so good.
I skip to the kitchen. Don't tell anybody that. But, I skip to the kitchen in the mornings.
And these guys are going to be skipping up to your front door when you call us.
Absolutely.
And I know you two are so excited to get into more customer homes and make sure that their homes are as comfortable as possible. And don't miss out on these promotions. They don't happen. I've never seen it happen in company history here, especially in July, a deal like this. So be sure to mention the Rogers Radio podcast when you call in, and you can receive that deal and get these guys out there.
And a quick shout out, actually, if you don't mind. I was stopped at Dollar General because we eat at Dollar General a lot on the road.
Dollar General.
One of our customers, Sean Boyd, and that's the reward in our job.
Yeah.
One of our customers, Sean, have not seen him in a few months, and he's like, "Hey!" and he comes running across the parking lot, and he's like, "Man, that unit y'all put in my house, that thing will run you out. I'm freezing." Just was thrilled now that it's getting hot because he got his changed more in the fall, so he hadn't got to experience. And like he said, "Man, it's starting to get hot, and that thing is killing it." And I mean, that's what it makes you feel good, and you go home and you sleep good because you're like, now they're just thrilled to death. It's getting hot, and they're like, "I hope the new system keeps up." And he's like, "Dude, that thing will freeze you out the house. I got to turn that thing down." So amazing. I mean, it's a great feeling when you get stuff like that. And hopefully we can do that for you. I mean, that's really the ultimate goal, is that comfort.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here today on the podcast.
Thanks
I
for
really,
having us.
really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for listening to the Rogers Radio podcast. Continue rating, reviewing, subscribing, and coming up to me and telling me all of the things. And we will talk to you next week.
I'll see you soon.
Give us a call.